Samstapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Sarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. So it is nice to see you after a long time in person, and hope you are all keeping well. Of course you are keeping well, that's why you are here. I pray that you remain well all the time. So we are here. Why meditation? We all know, that's why we are here. But still I am to say why. Why? We know that we want some peace. We want joy. We want some inner contentment. We get tired with the things outside, and it does not satisfy us. Then we search for joy, where to go, where to go. But going every direction, we get to know that wherever I go, I get little touch of joy maybe, little momentary peace, little satisfaction, but it does not remain with us so long, and it parts away from me, it goes away from me. And then again my life of suffering, anxieties, worries and pain and anguish again haunts me. So what we want to do, we are trying to find out, can we reach that state where there will be a continuous peace, a continuous touch of happiness? And is there any process we can reach that state of peace and happiness, abiding peace and happiness? I think this is why we try to meditate. Mind has tremendous power. We do not know how much power our mind expresses sometimes in the form of stamina. Every day we know our mind has tremendous power. By what? When you go to sleep. See, you create a whole world out of your mind. You create the whole universe, the sun, moon, the street, people, cars. So mind has this power. Now also, I'm talking, my mind has the same capability of creating this huge universe, all the people. This mind becomes the creator, and mind becomes the player in the play, in the drama of the night. So we can think that mind has a capacity. But we do not know that power, the power of concentration. As the rays of sunlight falling every direction gets dissipated, we don't find its impact. But when it is passed through a lens, then we find that the concentrated energy is powerful. It can burn a piece of wood, piece of paper at least. So our mind is so weak that we cannot do anything, but with the concentration, we can really bring out the best in us. Swami Vivekananda said that the world is ready to unfold its mystery. Only we have to know how to tap it, how to focus it. It is the power of concentration that can open up all the secrets which is hiding under the mystery of this world appearance. Ultimately, all the scientific experiments or results coming out, there's the concentrated mind is finding them in science lab, in any lab, in IT professionals, wherever we are working, it is a concentrated mind trying to find out something which is not accessible to make it accessible. And look at the human success in exploring the effect of the concentrated. This concentrated power can create havoc in the wrong hand, and this concentrated power can unfold the inner divinity and potentiality, the inner ocean of joy which is within us. So it is the power of concentration which is the only means to reach this destination of our own divine self. How we can, which we think that we are so weak, we are so limited, we are so meaningless. But when the concentration can be developed and we focus it into our own self, then that person becomes a sage or saint, the knower of truth. So every day that effort is to be made because it is a necessity. Finding the truth through the external senses and the instruments we have, it gives joy, tremendous joy, but not that degree which can be sustained forever. And my mind will be resonating in that joy for longer and longer and longer time, and ultimately it will be established in the eternal joy. So this is the purpose, main purpose, to have that peace, abiding peace, continuous peace. And we all hear that Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. But where is Shanti in our life? Because mind is not in peace. Why not peace? Because mind is trying to get it through the limitation of the senses and the disturbed mind, which is not focused. So that's why it is very important thing that this whole universe teaches us the calmness of the nature, gives us something. Where you go to a very, very isolated place full of trees and plants and the chirping of the bird, you sit there, your mind becomes peaceful without any much effort of concentration or anything. Even going to that environment, one can find peace. And can we extend that peace? That's why the ancient time, people used to go in the third stage of life, we call the Manaprastha. And they used to go to retreat center. That is our present day, we call retreat places. So in that place, when they go, at least they can concentrate much better. But it is not so easy, as you have heard this discussion so long. When we think going to an isolated place, of course the nature may help us. As I said, you go out and sit on the beach of Pacific, and then you see the rambling of the waves and this vastness of the ocean. You see, we find some type of peace. This is actually the restlessness of the mind, restlessness quiets down in such natural beauty, natural surrounding. And that time we forget our other thoughts. That's why mind has unconsciously become little ripple free, little quiet. We do not know that, but it happens. Suddenly we go to a music concert of your own choice, you see. You find joy because mind is becoming concentrated into the music and the note and the tune and all this melody, all rhythm, making together some sense of satisfaction. That means mind is not thinking of other things. External, no other external thought. Rather, all other external thoughts are being forgotten. And the mind is in the symphony. And there, After some time, people comes out so much joyful. But can we use this technique for meditation on our chosen ideal? That is the struggle. That is the struggle. Because we can do it with our familiar objects, where we have already practiced, or we external situation leads the mind into that type of concentrated idea, forgetting all other distracted thoughts. You are in the tune, in the melody, or some performance going on, or on the watching it interesting, very interesting TV serial, or something which you like. There you find that mind gradually comes and focused. And that focused mind, see, at that context, we forget even our body sometimes, even our hunger, even our thirst. Because mind engrossed into something which he is getting some joy there. Concentration means it will bring joy. But the object is our question, and our focus should be God, that is for us. And because God is a theoretical concept for us, where we don't see him, but as Swami has mentioned, if we happen to get touch with some holy man, holy sadhu, holy places of pilgrimage, then we can get a touch of that. And that can inspire us to bring our mind focused into it. But mind, as you all of us experience, its nature is to ripple, go in diverse direction. It is his nature. And why it has become its nature? Because we have allowed it for time immemorial. We have allowed the mind to run into the objects, visible objects of the senses, 5 senses. That's why it runs. And that's why Upanishad says, Paranchi khani vetrinat sayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. So it has been Paranchi khani. Khani means the senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the 5 senses of perception. These are all focused outside. That's why I see outside. And therefore, no antaratman. It does not turn back here. So that's why mind runs into the objects of the senses. But all are not fools. Upanishad said, Kashchit dhiraha. There are some intelligent people who are not satisfied with this running of the senses, mind running into the sense objects and trying to find peace there, and dissatisfied every time, more frustration. So it becomes dhira, means intelligent, very knowledgeable in this sense of experiencing. Then pratyagaatmanam, trying to see what is the innermost reality, Atman, pratyagaatmanam. That's why they avritta chakshuhu amritattamichan. Upanishad clearly states amritattamichan. These intelligent people, there may be many intelligent people in the world. So the war is going on in Russia, Ukraine. No? Very intelligent man, the president of Russia. And she is bombing, and trying to find peace. That's it. That's the thought. That's the way misled mind is concentrated, focused to have some, he has a mission, he's doing for that. So we also have mission, but not for antaratman, that to see what is within. That is called the meditation. Siddhira, pratyagatmanam action, avritta chakshu, they close their eyes Amritatvam ischan, to look at the immortality which is within. So this is the meditation, turning the mind inward. But it is really a difficult thing, as we have heard the discussion before. We all feel every day how difficult it is to bring this restless mind into focus. So what to do now? Both ways we will have to practice meditation. Practice meditation with eyes closed. Practice meditation with eyes open. That makes holistic life. It is difficult to eyes open to see God, because we are God plus our angularities. We are God plus my ego self, my emotional personality, my angularities. So God appears to us distorted. That's why we cannot see God. We can see God here because He does not talk. He does not say anything. You, whatever way you give food or don't give food, and all salt or no salt, He will not tell us at least. That's why it's easy to serve God here. But a living God is very difficult. That's why, but we have to understand there is the presence of God. Swami Vivekananda said in the inspired talks that you see God first and then you see this table. You see God first, then you see the chair. That means we see that one absolute consciousness which permeates everything. There is nothing but one, like space. But it is, we perceive it as name, diverse types of names and forms and segments. And it appears to be name and form only, not the content. Our initial spiritual people, they say that what is the difference between a ignorant person like us and a knower of God? They also see the name and form. Ramakrishna saw Rakhal as Rakhal, Naren as Naren, Hajra as Hajra. And also its quality is good, bad, whatever. No? But here's another thing which you don't see. The divine consciousness, or that reality which is permeated everywhere. They see the gold and the design. We see the design only and judge and fight and be happy and unhappy. But this is the knower of truth. They see two things together. Because gold is also there. They are aware of the gold content. At the same time, name and form, they are not rejecting. So long their eyes open, they see it. Now, truth is then, it is gold. In reality, it is all gold. But my mind, due to distraction, it is giving an appearance of something which is only name and form, and its varied tendencies and expressions. So what to do with eyes open means we'll have to see the Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Yaha jatra jatra netra pade, tatra tatra Krishna spure. That means how it will happen. Wherever my eyes fall, the Krishna will be revealed before my eyes. How that will be done? It is a practice. It is difficult, but we have to have some practice with eyes open, not only to try to see here. That's an important practice, but that is to be brought back into our active life. And then active life's effort, how much we do, should help us to go back when we sit for our meditation. So the seeing God inside and outside, both ways spiritual practice should continue. Guru has given us mantra. Guru has given us a divine form. When we close our eyes, we can try to find that divine within, not as a photograph, but as a personality. Better, not personality is moving as it were. It is radiant, more, much more radiant, only radiant light all over. Jyoti, 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 Jyoti. As one drives deep, this will unveil, unveil, unveil. And with that intention, whatever meditation we try to do on that eternal substance in us, starting in the our murti or divine form of God, which is our chosen ideal, not to make it a static subject. We imagine, that's okay. But our imagination should be little, what you call, active. Or you can say the living imagination. The living entity. It's not a picture, it is not a photograph. But it will not come at the beginning. That because we are familiar with normal objects that we can think. We close our eyes, those thoughts will come. But divine form of God, like Rama, Krishna, Holy Mother, they're so pure, our mind is not in that level, that's why it cannot comprehend. That's why it does not go there. So here is the process should be, even if I cannot conceive, try and try and try and try. And as Swami has mentioned also, love. We have to generate little love for God or love for my chosen ideal. Someone may be calling on Mother Kali, someone may be calling him as Lord Shiva or Rama or whatever name, but should have a yearning for that as a lover of God, that loving aspect should be added, then meditation becomes little easier. Even not, but we have to start where we are. It's an imagination. Okay, let it be imagination for me. Today's imagination is tomorrow's realization for our material world also. One boy imagines I will be a medical professional. And the child grows with that one idea. He becomes a medical professional. I will be an astronaut. People become an astronaut. So today's imagination is tomorrow's reality. Spiritual life also same. Today's imagination, I want to see my divine Ishta, to feel inside. If that imagination is there fundamentally, and then we move forward, these are not stories, these are not talks, but these are the realities experienced by so many saints before me, so many sages before me. Why not me? With this conviction, we should have to continue, as when the dry period question came. Dry or sweet is not the question. It is rainy day or the dry day, not question. Whatever happens, I will do it. Even mind does not work. Okay, I will finish my time in the shrine. A little bit. Not to do too much, but balance should be there. How much is our capacity? Some of us, sometimes we do that. So when we are in our work, when brahmacharis and we get too much workload, and when vacation comes, someone says, I want to go to Rishikesh, I want to go to Uttarkashi, the holy place, no? And you go there and they start, I'll do. 24 hours is with me, I'll do. Huh? And I'll do thousands and thousands of japa. Okay? 2 days, 3 days, 4 days is very good. Then after 5, 7, 10 days, you'll find fatigue. Your mind does not want. It's a terrible condition. Therefore, not to jump into that type of practice, but to increase slowly, slowly, slowly. Shanai Pantha, Shanai Kantha, Shanai Parvatalanganam. Three things you need to do slowly. Shanai Pantha. You want to walk from here to certain destination. You one step. Every step is important. You cannot jump one step here and another destination. No, it cannot be. Shanai, you have to practice, give time. Slow, slow, but steady. Shanai Pantha. And in the Olympic race and other things, you see how they speed up, slow, and then gradually, gradually. And those who do the fast at the very beginning, fast, and they may exceed everyone, but ultimately he fails. So here is a process to do slowly but surely, steadily, Shanai Pantha. Shanai Kantha, quilt, handmade quilt. People used to stitch them. You can sit one day with a big quilt and I'll finish it today. That is not possible. You have to, every stitch is necessary. So you have to give time. So spiritual life also will have to give time. Shanai Parvata Langhanam. If you want to climb the mountain, you cannot just jump, one jump and go and reach the cliff. You cannot do that. It is top. So this spiritual life also, this formula is to be maintained. Shanai, Shanai, Uparamet. Gita also said, Shanai, Shanai, Uparamet. You have to slowly and slowly and slowly, you have to make the mind calm. And as soon as the mind will be little calm, the inner light will come out. It's not that we have to bring God out of some heavenly place where he is hiding. God is here and now. Only we have to make our heart open. And the clouds of the mind gone, then the inner light will shine forth. So this is inside. And also we have to practice that outside also. A very difficult sadhana, but still then that meditation helps us to go inward and outward. Because if I want to see who is in me, and everyone I interact, I see there is the divine there, shining. I normally, people, Upanishad can help us in that way, no? Do Shanti, Antariksham Shanti. There is Shanti in the Dulo, in the interspace, in the heaven, in the earth. So there is Shanti. The rishis are experiencing that. So we can follow their footsteps. Just try to impose that idea in our mind with eyes open and with eyes closed. But it will take longer time. So we need not have to be worried about that, because how many lives we have spent in allowing the mind to go in its own mood. And now we are trying to bring it back to the track. Naturally, there will be some conflict. But when one's mind get a little touch of that joy, it will be turning its attention and it will pull us. Swami Virajananda Maharaj, for practice used to do japa. No? Holy Mother's instruction. And Holy Mother, forget about Holy Mother. And what Virajananda Maharaj used to do japa, the rosary, no? And he's fond of so much, he's done so much. 100,000, 110,000, we find some records like that. So in the old days, his body does not permit and he does not need. After realization of God, you need not have to do on the rosary. You see the experience of God in and out everywhere. But sometimes the initiated devotees want to do some japa. So Guru should touch and do some repetition. That is called the purification of the beads, mala, rosary. So someone brought, and Shraddhananda Swami, he brought a bundle of such rosary, and many devotees want. And so He gave it to Maharaj. Maharaj will keep it. And he started doing japa in each one. And continuously. So concentrated, he's so absorbed, then his all other program is getting delayed at this age. So no, every time Shraddhananda Maharaj is going, but he's so absorbed, and how can he say, Maharaj, give it back? So it is continuously going on, and then Swami Atmasthanandaji ultimately came into rescue. He just came, Maharaj, it is enough. Your lunch time is over, your other activities are raised, medicine is to be taken here. So give me. And he snatched away from his hand. And doing that, she is like a child. Someone has taken his loving toy and he was looking aimlessly and as helpless. But see the joy he was finding, forgetting his own other needs. So it will happen. And if we can practice, God's name has its own power and the mantra has its own power. It will manifest if it is practiced that way, and that will help. Mantra and meditation should go simultaneous. Mantra, the repeating the word you are repeating, and the object which that mantra indicates. It may be Shaguna in the form, name and form, or it may be name without name and form. In whatever aspect, God is only one. It can be this way, it can be that way. Ramakrishna says, Sakar, Jari Sakar, Tari Nirakar. Whose is the Akara in the form, divine form, gods, goddesses. And at that reality is the Nirakara, beyond all form. So this is the basic thoughts about meditation, why and how we can do that. Main practice is regular practice, regular seeing inside, regular morning, evening. That's why it is said 2-3 times sit for meditation. If you have no time, longer, sit smaller time, 10 minutes. Say hold it 20 times, 10 times. Little opportunity just to revisit the divine within. And with eyes open, try to see them. Failure. Never mind failures. So that should be the practice, so that when it synchronizes, and then progress will be more. And naturally, when the mind will be pure, it will run for God. There's no doubt about it. Whenever mind becomes pure, it has no other way to go. It will go towards God. So when it will be pure, that's our problem. We want to do that, then there are those process of meditation, those process of japa, those process of repeating Lord's name, those process of seeing God in others. All these characteristics we have to imbibe and practice. Okay, so much so.
Are you going to take any questions, Barbara?
If any,
one or
please.
two and very short, please. Let's keep it brief. Could you talk a little bit about how we can live the Leela on our everyday today?
How can we live?
How can we the divine play?
Oh, Leela. Oh, Leela. Leela is in a meditation, we can think about that. Oh, how can we live meditating on the Leela? That's your question. Yeah. When you're driving, don't think of the Leela. When you are going somewhere, at that time you may not be thinking of Leela, but mentally we can think specifically in our asana when we are sitting and we are really have some time. We can go, as Swamiji also mentioned before, let us go to Dakshineshwar. Go and we can sit with other holy devotees, Narayan, Rakhal. You can sit just behind. No one will stop you. And think that Ramakrishna is sitting there, he's giving advice. Take one day's recording or one part of the recording. And then Sri Ramakrishna, just imagine Sri Ramakrishna coming from the Dakshineshwar mother's temple after puja and getting absorbed and steps up, and enter into the northern door. That's just visualize. Just mentally, we can just live in those awareness. And that's called the Leela. And then you see that he entered into the room. And Master Masa is sitting on this side. Naren is sitting. Prakal. It is just gospel description. Take any day's such stories, and then feel that suddenly Ramakrishna speaking like that, and in between he is going to talking about Samadhi and going to Samadhi, singing a song and started dancing, and everyone started dancing. You also dance with them. So this is the way it's called the Leela. It helps our mind when mind does not want to concentrate on the form. It's better. Sri Krishna's Vrindavan Leela. That's why the song is that Hidi Vrindavane Vas Jodi Karo Kamalapati. Oh Lord, if you live in my Vrindavan of my heart, this heart may be made Vrindavan. This heart may be made Dakshineshwar. Its heart may be made Kashipur Garden House. All this way, or whoever, in any divine place we can go mentally. And that, living in that circle for a longer time, you actually, though it is not a concentrated meditation, but at least mind is moving around one central idea and central divine form. We can read Holy Mother also, like see Holy Mother's Jainambati, mother is sitting there, some devotee is coming, and mother prostrating to Ma is touching her, his or her head. And like that, very vivid descriptions we read here and there. Even you see, you go to Belur Math, you see that Mahapurush Maharaj is sitting and is totally absorbed. Raja Maharaj is in the bench, big bench. We have visited there, facing the Ganga on the veranda. He's sitting, Mahapurush Maharaj, Raja Maharaj sitting together. Feel. And then someone is coming and saluting, and they're in the spiritual mood. Just sit there, live there. One sadhu. I was that time in educational institution in Sarvadevananda. So one sadhu went from this country, not this country, he was in from European country. Anyhow, I'm not giving the name, but I was saying that, what you do, staying so far away from Belur Math. He said, what? Every day, 3 times I come to Belur Math and I walk around this. I go to Ramakrishna temple, I go to Holy Mother, I go to the old shrine, all the temples I do pranam and move around every day. So this is called the Belur Math in your heart. You may be thousands of miles away, but your mind is there, and that will find little peace. In this way, if the mind is trained to roam around for some time, and then you sit for concentrating your mind on Guru, what he has given us with the mantra, it may be helpful. So, okay, thank you all.